To find an equivalent word to explain Sanskrit in English is really tough. Because the glossary of Sanskrit is so huge. For example, for one thing there can be more than 30 words just to say one thing. And then sometimes each word may come with a very different meaning. That's the tricky part. So it's not easy for anybody to actually translate the Sanskrit shlokas, the aphorisms of Patanjali, in English without breaking the spirit of the whole Sanskrit language. So when we say Chitta, then the word Chitta doesn't mean alone with the subconscious word. When we say Chitta, then it also means the unconscious mind too. So if I use the Western psychiatry, then for the Chitta, we'll have to bring the unconscious, the subconscious, and the conscious mind into it. And then comes the word Vritti. Now what does Vritti mean? Vritti doesn't mean a thought. Now that's again a wrong translation to it. The Vritti word comes from the word Vrit. And the Vrit means a circle. A circle. See how wrong it is going now, right? So a Vrit means a circle. So when we say circle, then this means that this is like a cup which is going to hold something into it. So the product which is being held in that circle, that product is a thought. Now let me put it like this. If there is a huge ocean, well, ocean is always huge. So on the huge ocean, there is a wave which is formed. So wave is part of the ocean, but yet it has a very definitive shape and form. So we can call it a small wave, a big wave, a turbulent wave, a silent wave, a ripple, a mediocre wave. So a wave means that there is a specified form, and in that shape and form, the amount of water which is there, which is defining it as a wave. Are you getting what I'm saying? So there is water and then there is a wave. So wave rises in the ocean and then it just settles down back into the ocean. So we can say the water takes the shape of a wave, and by the time it reaches the shore, it collapses and it loses that form. So that form of the ocean, which is being called a wave. So we are saying that form is that circle in which the wave was formed. Are you with me? So a wave is not an ocean, and yet it is ocean. But it rises and then it falls in the water. It takes a shape and then it dissolves in the water. Now let's bring this analogy and apply it. See your mind as an ocean, and in that ocean, a circle got created, and the material in that one circle is called a thought. It's very, very fine and subtle thing what I'm saying. Vrit means a circle. So if mind is like an ocean, then in this ocean of mind, a wave got created, And that wave is encompassing the thought, or maybe a memory, or maybe a perception which was received by your senses, or there is a projection about the future. So there is an imagination, or maybe there is some emotional turbulence. So what comes in this circle is called a vritti. It's like, if you draw a circle, and then in that circle you drew a mountain, a river, a man, a woman, a tree, grass and field. If you ever see any painter, when they do the quick painting, so they use different colors on the canvas, and one moment ago it's just a plain canvas, and maybe in 10 minutes, with just color play and how they give the strokes, we have a whole scene of a mountain valley, or a scene of an ocean where the sun is setting and everything is getting into hue of the setting sun's color, with all the oranges and yellows and ochre, and it's getting reflected in the water, and as if everything has turned into ochre. So in that frame, whatever got created is your painting. So similarly, the mind well is never an empty canvas. The mind is little, or I would say, in a big way, millions of pictures got created in this mind, and there are millions of images and sounds, and what you tasted, what you touched, what you saw, what you smelled, everything layer by layer, layer by layer. The impressions of all these 5 inputs which happened with the 5 senses, all the impressions have gone into the mind. Now, from this very ocean of impressions, sight, sound, touch, taste, all these impressions are there. So mind is a huge, huge ocean. And then in that one circle, the vrit, the circle, arises, and the content in that circle is called loosely by people as a thought. Now, what is Patanjali saying? It's saying Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Now, let me first explain the word Nirodha. Now, you wrote destruction. It's not correct at all. Nirodha can be understood to take hold of, or we can say to restrain. Now this nirodha, this restraint obviously isn't going to happen lifelong. This restraint will happen for a stipulated very small frame of time. So the chitta is the ocean in which the circle of vrit and the content of that, it becomes a vritti, is arising. So if I ask you, since this morning, how many thoughts arose in your mind? Right from waking up to this hour, good 12 hours or 13 have been spent by you. So through your 5 senses, the skin is the largest organ. So good, bad, cold, hot, soft, mushy sensations came via the skin to the mind. Then the sights, the colors through the eyes. And mind doesn't has to, always make a commentary, although it does. It's like subtitling to whatever you see. Like if I ask you to just tell me what colors are there hanging from this temple roof. Can you see? Say it. Maroon, not red. Correction. Maroon, white, yellow, ochre. Yeah, pink. Right? And you have missed the background. The darkness of the night is the black is there, which is giving the sparkle to all these colors. So from where did all these words came? From the memory. So as your eyes were seeing, your subconscious mind was popping up with these words. This color is this color is this color is this. So actually there is no definitive barriers in between the conscious and the subconscious. It's working as a one unit all the times. You see, okay, it's a man, it's a woman, it's a dog, it's a bird, it's a tree, it's a lamppost, it's an electrical light, it's a speaker. So as your eyes look, automatically you are recognizing each and everything. So if I say, how many vrittis happened in one day or in 1 hour, actually it's going to be huge. Difficult to put a number to it. Right? Now, Patanjali is talking about, it begins from here, Yogaś Chitta Vritti Nirodha. What is yoga? It is where you can restrain the vritti. Now remember, the mind, the mind, the vrittis in the chitta cannot be restrained for eternity. Remember this. And there is the biggest misconception which many people have, that they can do that. That they can do that. Huh? But Patanjali is saying that the objective of yoga is that you can hold, or use the word restrain, ideally speaking, just use the word Nirodha, allow these waves occurring in the ocean of your chitta to be restrained. And mind you, he is not saying to restrain the thoughts of the mind, because the word is chitta. And when we say chitta, then it means the subconscious, the unconscious, and the conscious, all three woven into one. I know the West finds it so difficult to accept that mind and brain are two different entities. They say brain is mind and mind is brain, but this is not correct. Mind is absolute different entity and brain is absolute different entity. Like, say, if you transplant heart, then all the feelings and the emotions of that person, would that get transferred to the new recipient? But even say, hypothetically speaking, someday the medical science does this miracle and they transplant the brain. Will they be able to transfer the knowledge which this person had to the person who will receive the donation of the brain? So mind and brain are two different entities. Brain is something very physical, and it runs on the oxygen and all the chemicals which get released from your glands. And it has areas to see, to hear, to touch, to feel, to walk, and so on and so forth. So, number one, Patanjali is not talking about our brain. One. Two, Patanjali is not talking about just the mind as the Western people understand that. It's not just the mind. Psychiatrically, what they are talking about now, since last, I would say, 1950s and onwards, that there is this subconscious and the unconscious. So Chitta is all the three. So when we are working through this body, we are living through this mind, through this Chitta, obviously everything is in sync. The Chitta, the brain, the body, they are in sync when they interact with other beings or the nature. So Patanjali is talking about creating a state in this Chitta where for certain period of time all the vrittis, loosely some people talk about the modification of the mind. Now again, Patanjali is not talking about mind. So modification or the vritti is restrained, meaning no vritti is arising in the Chitta at all. This means all the five senses, inputs which are coming in, there is no reaction from the Chitta happening to it. Chitta also has memory, so no memory. Chitta has also the speculative about future, nothing about that. Nothing about the body, nothing about the environment. Now, does it actually happen? Is it possible even to do that? So if you just go deeper into this very first aphorism of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it's mind-boggling. Yogaś, Chitta Vritti Nirodha. What is yoga? What is Raj Yoga? It is about the restraint or holding for a certain time all the waves of the Chitta. There is none of the wave now functioning or acting or visible. And then how it will happen, so on and so forth. Then the second sutra and the third and the fourth, and it goes on and on. So Patanjali talked about the Chitta that learn how to bring the restraint onto your vrittis. So the whole first Samadhi path is dedicated to the tools and about the stages which one will experience when this Nirodha state will happen. And he talks about the Savikalpa Samadhi and the Nirvikalpa Samadhi and Nirbij Samadhi and Sabij Samadhi and Nirvichar Samadhi and Shabdanugat and Anandanugat Samadhis, giving all the details. And in the second chapter, he goes into what to do. The sadhan pad is what to do. And in the third chapter, Vibhuti-pad, he talks about the achievements and the rejoicement of those achievements. And in the fourth and the last chapter, the Kaivalya-pad, again he is talking about the beauty of these states which one achieves after this long journey of preparation in a yogic lifestyle. So it's Yogaś, Chitta Vritti Nirodha. What is yoga? It is when you learn to bring restraint or to hold the vrittis, not of mind, but of Chitta. And surely, just remember this part, very important part, that it won't happen for eternity. It may occur for some time, for some duration, and you touch and then you come back again to that state of Chitta, where the Chitta, it can be with the Klishta or Akalishta, meaning the 5 types of vrittis which are really bad and ugly ones, and the 5 are which are great and good and sattvic. So the detailing happens. So I don't know. See, I give such a detailed answer because the subject is not a very simple. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, I believe if anybody wishes to understand the Chitta, the mind and the unconscious and the subconscious, and how to change the status and the experiences of the Chitta, nothing comes close than to Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So I believe everybody should learn and understand and work on understanding the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, provided the translation is not ghastly failure one, where the Nirodha is being called as destruction. So that won't be a just thing to do to this one of the greatest epic scriptures of yoga. That's the Patanjali Yoga Sutras.